So this is a video going through the various mode and display options at the bottom of the Actions and the Activities tab. So there's display under the Actions here, showing the Activities, and there's Mode and Display under the Actions tab. So I'll look at the Actions tab first. So here I just have a test wizard, first level. I've added a few spells, cantrips. There are allowed 6 cantrips and 3 first level spells. This extra window is accessible through the gear icon there. So the first thing I need to do, this is a prepared caster. You can see that up here, it's a prepared spellcaster, is actually prepare the spells that I memorize as part of the wizard's daily preparations. So I'll go into preparation mode and I just need to select all of those spells. So actually just around this I'll add another cantrip into there. So if I click the tradition button, it brings up the list of all the arcane spells, and I'll just put days, add days to the PC as well. So these are the spells in your spell book, and now we're preparing the 6 spells, cantrips that we're going to have. Similarly for the first level, I'll add a first level spell in here. Sorry, that's flying off the window. I'll add create water. So these are the 4 spells in the spell book, but I can only prepare 3, and you can see that there's the 3 dots available there. So I'll prepare brief fire, chilling spray, and dizzying colors. So this is the preparation mode. This allows me to prepare what I have as part of my daily preparations. So if I go to combat mode, I'll actually come back to this, I'll go to standard. So in standard mode, note that you see all of your spells, but the ones that you have prepared for cantrips, you see this little cast button next to it. And for first level spells and above, you'll actually see a checkoff box. So when I use Breathe Fire, I can check off that I've actually used that spell. If I'm in combat mode, you only see the spells that you prepared. You don't see the rest of your actual spell book, just the ones that you prepared, and also the ones that you haven't cast today. So just the ones that you have available. So if I use Breathe Fire, I'll use the buttons, and I'll come to those in a moment. After you've done the buttons, and this is very important if you're in combat mode, check off that you've used Breathe Fire, because note, it now disappears because we're in combat mode and it only displays the spells that you have available. If you do that by accident, just rotate your your mode maybe back to standard and get rid of that Breathe Fire. Get rid of that checkbox off the Breathe Fire. So then it's available back in combat mode again. But this is very important. Do that as the last thing that you do, otherwise spells may disappear and you don't have the action buttons available to actually use them. But just keep that in mind. Combat mode only displays what you have available. If you check things off, they're going to disappear. And a lot of players sometimes think that this is a bug or something, that things are disappearing and it's all getting confused. So check at the mode that you're in. Standard shows you everything, but down the left-hand side shows you what you have available to cast. Preparation allows you to prepare for a spontaneous caster. This would allow you to decide. This really doesn't have much to do for a spontaneous caster, but it is definitely for the prepared caster. So just keep that in mind. Now, moving on to the display. This changes how these icons display on the right-hand side here. And for certain spells, we're seeing all. So we have a lot of actions available here, especially on dizzying colors. We have all sorts of actions there. But if we have a look at those individual actions, we see that they're set to have a specific result state. This is based, so this has been programmed in for this spell. So if there's a success on the save, the target's dazzled. If there's a fail, it's stunned for 1 round. A critical fail, it's stunned. Stunned 1 for 1 round. It's stunned for 1 round. Critical failure, it's blinded as well. Failure, it's blinded for 1 round. The critical failure was blinded for a minute. and a failure, it's dazzled for a minute. So these are all applied based off the result. Because we have all actions selected down the bottom here, we see all of those actions. If we move to summary, we see less actions, and actually that's the same as the minimum actions. Displaying minimum actions is just if the spell's being set up that way, we just see the minimum actions that we need to use that spell. So for dizzying colors, we need to trigger a will save, so we target everybody who's going to be part of the dizzying colors, trigger the will saves, and then after we do that, we apply all actions, and that applies the relevant effect based off the result of that will save. So whereas, in all actions mode, this can look very, very confusing, lots of actions all over the place. If you go into minimum actions or summary in this case, but minimum actions, you just see the ones that are relevant if the spell's been set up correctly in that case. So that makes things a lot easier to view, a lot less buttons. Similarly, if we go to the Activities tab, we just have the display option here. We don't have the mode because we don't prepare activities or anything like that. And just as an example, I'm going to have a look at treat ones. It's a good example here. And in minimum actions, we again just see that the skill check, medicine, which actually, if we have a look at that, that's treat disease I'm having a look at. Sorry, treat wounds. It's a fixed DC of 15 if you're doing it at the trained level. If you're doing it at expert, it's a fixed DC of 20. So these can, do different DCs. But for the minimum actions, we just see the skill check and the apply all actions after that based off the result of that skill check. If we go to all actions, we see every single action that's set up under these treat wounds, because there's a success, you heal 2d8, critical success, you heal 4d8. If you fail, critical failure, you do 1d8 damage. But so these are all available to you under all actions. But that obviously can get very busy if you have a lot of activities viewable. So summary doesn't show the actions at all, so you can just scroll through and maybe just find something quickly. And min actions just gives you the thing that's available. Obviously, this filter is very useful if you need to do a recall knowledge check. Just type in a few, some of the name of the actual activity, press return, and it will bring up all of the activities that match, and then you can make your check. So yeah, just really in summarizing here, it can be very, very confusing, but these mode and display options are there to allow people to tailor what they see and maybe make it a little bit easier to view. There's only 3 options under each, but the key thing here is under combat, you only see what's available. If you check something off and you have no uses left of it, it's going to disappear. So just keep that in mind. And obviously cycling through these min actions and all actions can make things a little bit different. Min actions may not work for some spells that haven't been set up yet, which hopefully will be set up correctly in the future. But that does allow you to tailor what you can actually see. Thanks for watching.